So I really am very, very optimistic. The second quality I think that's really important to me is passion and enthusiasm. I really love life. I love people. I love everything I do. I just wake up in the morning, and I don't know, where this came from. I certainly, I think my mom and dad were to a large extent this way, and my family's kind of this way. We don't get knocked down easily. We really have, along with the optimism, a lot of passion for life, passion for learning, just passion for being alive. And every day, if bad things happen to me in the job or in my life, I just always think, there's going to be something good that will happen tomorrow. And I know sometimes that it isn't the case, and sometimes it's really hard in life to overcome really bad things, and I've had some bad things in my own life. But I just tend to, try to get back to that optimistic, passionistic way of living. And I carry that into my job. Resiliency is a huge issue for me, and I just talked a little bit about that. I think just bouncing back, having the ability to find other paths to success, not getting, you get knocked down a lot in life, but you just have to get back up. And so having the strength and endurance to do that and to really believe that things are going to get better. And humility is a huge, huge issue for me. I learned early on in my career and really in my life, it's not really about me. And, I don't lead with my ego ever, because I'm trying to solve problems for other people. I'm trying to partner. I'm trying to work with others. It's really about them, and it's about solving their problems, not about imposing my will and, showing how smart I am. And integrity is huge for me. I don't compromise my values. I really believe in honesty. I'm a very transparent person. What you see is what you get. And I value that, and I don't compromise those things. And emotional intelligence, huge for me. I really, love talking with people. I feel like I have special connections with other human beings, and I can really feel them out and try to understand what they're saying, and I'm a really good listener. I may not agree with you, but I will definitely understand your point of view. And last thing, communication. I think that's, in terms of innate, that's really important. I've always been a person who loved to talk with others, listen to others, understand others. And all of these qualities, I think, kind of you can see weave together. They're all sort of on the same side of the slate. But one thing in terms of communication that I've really learned to work on very hard and have come to see as a gift is criticism and just listening to people who don't agree with you and having that vigorous debate. And Pam and I have had a few of those. But even people within my own organization, I really believe in speaking truth to power and having the ability and the courage to say what you think. Think it through first, but really say what you think and offer your thoughts, and most importantly, listen to others and listen to people who don't agree with you. In the end, you'll often make a better decision. In terms of what I've had to work on, I picked out 3 things that I think I'm still working on every day, and the first is forbearance, which really means, and I looked it up in a dictionary just to make sure I got it completely right, but I wanted a word that really captured not only developing patience, but having endurance. And, when you're in the kinds of positions wherein every day you get knocked down, you get so many huge mega problems. And there frequently, Pam talked about looking for jobs in the broader world. Well, our problems at these levels are always part of the broader world. They're never a simple little fix, and they can't be solved in an hour. And I really have the tendency to think I can solve every problem in the world in 30 minutes. But, in this job, no, it might take a month. You might have to reach out and get input from a lot of different areas, and you might really have to reach out, to your people in your own organization, your boss, and have some tough conversations. So, and listen to some criticism. So I really had to develop the ability to endure, have, patience, and really more plot my decision making versus just instantly react, because I'm pretty strong-willed and I'm pretty certain about what I think. But I've had to step back from that and really, really understand that there are many different opinions out there and different ways to view the world and different aspects to the problem. So forbearance has been really important for me. Flexibility, I believe I've always been flexible, but I've really had to work on that even more because you have to understand there are many paths to success. And it's not often the very first one you think of. And again, the input you get, the criticism you get, all has to be factored in. So you have to be really flexible. And the last thing, I'm a very intense, serious problem solver, and I set very high expectations for my staff and expect a lot from myself. So the part I really had to work on is fun. You know, bringing fun into my office, making the day joyful for people. We work really hard in the FTA Region 1 office, and we accomplish a lot. But we really, I think, have done a much better job of having fun. And I understand, you know, as the leader in my office and as a senior leader in the Federal Transit Administration and in the USDOT, you cast a long shadow with everything you do, whether it's, you know, watching how you work or understanding the decision-making and why you made certain decisions. So I'm very mindful that I'm a role model. And I think all of these qualities that I've talked about, you know, I'm very conscious of projecting the right image all the time because it's really important. People look up to you and you want to buoy people's spirits and you want to make their day worthwhile and you want to help them add value to your organization and you want to motivate them. So I take my responsibility really seriously to be that great role model as much as I can and to be a great leader. And I'm working at it every day, every single day.
What a great response, Mary Beth. We really should bottle that, pull it out every so often. Next question to Michelle. What is your experience for obtaining leadership experience when you're not in a supervisory position?
So this is really important to make the jump from non-supervisory to supervisory is huge because you have to convince people to accept your resume so you can go in for the interview. And when you're in the interview, you have to convince people that even though you've only had these non-supervisory roles, that you're ready because once you're put in a supervisory position, it's very hard for people to get rid of you in the government. So, you really...
Here's the voice of candor.
Yeah. So, what do you do to convince people that you're ready for it? And it's a huge leap. And here at the Volpe Center, it's really hard because there are huge divisions and there's only so many supervisors. So what I did when I was at the Volpe Center, I got the opportunity to be co-tar for several large projects, and I really did them kind of cradle to grave and made them my own and took a lot of pride in working with the contractors and getting good results and making sure that what we were working for in my contracts was meeting the goals and missions of FRA and making sure that I got the, not publicity, but that the work that I was doing got attention from people not just here but at FRA so that the work I was doing, was seen. And then one of the other huge things that another opportunity I had was to join the ASME, which is the American Society of Mechanical Engineers Rail Transportation Division. And it was actually not my official boss, but my program manager here at Volpe who got me started with it. And I had always been interested in going to conferences and writing papers, and I just really enjoyed that. But I got this role where I could help plan the conferences and bring people together. And within the conference organizers, I took on a leadership role because I was willing to do it and I wanted to do it. So I really grew kind of my network through that and grew my experience because now I could say, well, I haven't officially managed people, but I've managed these contracts, and I haven't officially led people, but I have worked with volunteers, which is even harder than managing people, to put on these conferences, and I think I'm ready for the official challenge. So that's how I did it.
Great answer. I think this theme of networking and nurturing relationships is coming through strongly. Amy and Pam, if you each take about 5 minutes, we'll have time for a couple of questions and discussion. For Amy, what significant barriers, whether related to work, life balance, or professional challenges, did you encounter along your path to leadership, and how did you address them?
I'm not sure if is this on? Yes. Okay. Technical issues sometimes are my challenge and barrier, but yeah. Okay. All right. I am from Boston, but nevertheless, I am also a country music fan. And there are some lyrics that I listen to from time to time, and believe it or not, some of them have been pretty good. You can get some decent advice on how to get through life. Hopefully you don't have the situations that some of these things are. But in any event, one of my favorite ones goes, and I can't sing, so don't worry about it. It's Rodney Atkins, and it's, if you're going through hell, keep on going. Don't slow down. And if you're scared, don't show it. And I think that really summarizes a lot of that sort of inner voice that I give myself. I honestly do think talking to yourself can be a very positive thing when you're giving yourself positive messages. And keep that tape going, because when you are facing a hurdle, a challenge, a barrier, if you can keep those positive messages coming to your forefront, you'll get that forbearance that was just mentioned. You'll get that kind of inner strength. I can tell you about a couple of instances that I faced over the years, but I'd rather first start with telling you, I think it's more of an approach. It really doesn't matter what the barrier is as much as what your response to that is. And if you've got that inner strength, okay, I've identified it, this is a problem, this is something I've got to get through, get around, whatever. How am I going to do it? How am I going to approach this is really the key. And one of the things that I try to do when I'm facing a hard time is take care of myself, make sure I'm getting enough rest. I honestly believe no matter what it is in your life, if you're well rested, you can handle things a whole lot better. So try to exercise, eat right, sleep well, and going through a hard time, that's usually giving you a big advantage. Another way that, or another technique I guess I use is I turn to the people I know whose judgment I can trust, people who I can rely upon, who can see the situation and understand it and give me good advice, not tell me what to do, because I don't take well to being told what to do.
Here's another theme.
Here's another theme, yes. But talk with me about it. Give me your input. Give me your slant. Give me some advice on how to, or simply shore me up if that's what I need to keep on going. And usually it turns out that the people who I support are the ones I can turn to support me when I need it. A couple of challenges real quick. I don't think this is anywhere near the issue now as it used to be way back in the old days. You wouldn't know about this, Michelle. But, with child care, that was a big deal. I had 3 children in 4 years, so I was busy. I took 8 weeks off from work and was right back, simply because if I looked for any more time, it would have been, she's much more interested in that than she is her job. She's not taking her work seriously enough. Consequently, I never had pictures of my children in my office until much more recent years. But there were a lot of those kinds of hurdles. Didn't talk about my children. If someone asked, obviously I'd respond, but I had to stay focused on ensuring how I was viewed was I was a serious contender for my career, and that I was going to do whatever anybody else was going to do. I went through a phase of being called that girl lawyer by one of the division managers in our regional office, and that girl lawyer. Okay, great. So how do I show that I can help him get himself out of some of the other messes he would create, because his mouth was a little loose. And that did happen, and that did, it was earning the respect by being competent at what you do. That's probably enough time.